Welcome back to the Chronicles. We're thinking about who is Jesus. That's the question that's being asked in the beginning of, the first couple chapters of Mark's Gospel. We had it a couple days ago and we've got it again today. Who is Jesus? And we're going to see some curveballs about who he is. So Dean's going to read from verse 23.
One Sabbath, Jesus was going through the cornfields, and as his disciples walked along, they began to pick some ears of corn. The Pharisees said to him, "Look, why are they doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" He answered, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry and in need? In the days of Abiathar, the high priest, he entered the house of God and ate the consecrated bread, which is lawful only for priests to eat. And he also gave some to his companions. Then he said to them, 'The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath.'" That's an unbelievable statement right there.
Yeah.
I just can't, I love to imagine what they must have been, what their faces. I don't know about you, I love memes. And when I read that, a meme popped into my head, and it's the one of Kevin Hart. And he's got a look on his face that's like that, and it's like, wait, what? It's one of those moments that it's another massive double take. The Pharisees, they're coming to Jesus, they're moaning about his disciples, about what they're not doing. Yeah. And then Jesus doesn't just answer them with an unbelievable answer. Yeah. He blows their sort of what they think of him, just blows it out of the water. Yeah. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And he's been gathering attention, Jesus, because he's not the normal rabbi, is he?
No. He's not just a good teacher, like you said yesterday.
Exactly. Yeah. He's not just a good teacher. So what are these Pharisees doing in the cornfields? They must be like following him or keeping track. They're keeping tabs on him. Yeah. And very soon we start to see them actually actively going out to find him. But they're sort of, there's something completely different about Jesus. He doesn't blend in, as we said last time, with other good teachers. There's something different about him.
No, that's right. They're sort of they've got little tick lists, and he's breaking the rules of the Sabbath, Yeah. But what you've got to know is that the Pharisees they've added to the laws. Mm-hmm. This is not an Old Testament law. It's added by the Pharisees during this time, and Jesus says to them, "Look, I'm not about your little rules. I'm not about your little religiosity. Yeah. I've come so that people can reconnect with God. Mm-hmm. Your little laws, not yours, but Pharisees. Your little laws, they stop people reconnecting with God. Yeah. The Sabbath was all about 6 days work, 1 day rest, reconnect with God, and you do it, and your slaves your slaves and servants, and even your donkeys get a rest. Yeah. Reconnect with God, enjoy God. Mm. And the Pharisees are all about putting burdens on people, and again, Jesus just says, no, it's not about that.
Yeah. The fact that they're out in this cornfield accusing, watching, looking, waiting for Jesus to do something wrong, they aren't even really observing the Sabbath as it was meant to be. Yeah. Is that them connecting with God? No, that's them trying to be like a stickler for the rules, and they love the rules, don't they? And they love having the power over people.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus, he's not here saying the 10 Commandments don't matter. The law of God doesn't matter. He's not come to abolish the law, but he's come to fulfill it. But then he goes, look. He goes on to say, he compares himself with David first of all, which must have been again that's bad enough for the Pharisees to hear. Yeah. But then he goes even further and says, that the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. First he says, "I'm the Son of Man." Second he says, "He is Lord." He's referring to himself in these two descriptions. Yeah. And that must have been an absolute bombshell for the Pharisees. Even his disciples would have stopped chewing on their little ears of corn at that moment.
He said a succession of things. Going back to the David thing, I mean, is an amazing thing too, because David's their great king. And they hold him up to be the one who is, the embodiment of the law and everything. And there, Jesus is saying, haven't you, isn't this amazing what Jesus said to them? Have you never read what David did? So
they would have known it backwards.
I know. Yeah. So he's sort of saying to them, you've kind of missed the point completely, because look, what I'm doing, David did a very similar thing, and he gave some to his companions. And would you have dared said to David, "You're breaking the law"? You wouldn't have.
No,
so first of all, you're hypocrites. Second of all, you misunderstood the word of God. And then thirdly, this bombshell about this Lord of the Sabbath.
I mean, we're going to get back to what the Son of Man and what that's all about. But just as it's here, this is a wait, what? Moment that's definitely worth looking into. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah. See you next time.
Yeah.